Welcome YouTubers to another One Piece chapter review. And this time we're going to be reviewing chapter 826, 0 and 4. Now, holy snap, we actually finally get to see the Vinsmoke's family reunion over here inside this chapter. You know, we actually see Agents 0 and 4. I believe 0 was Reagan, like the little pink, I'm assuming it's going to be pink. It's like a pink butterfly or moth looking thing. And then we got Winch Green, Agent 4. And now I'm looking at these two characters, and holy snap. The Vinsmokes are really a different particular kind of group. They kind of reminded me a little bit of the Skypians. I'm just wondering, like, at the same fact, if they're using any dials or anything, like, because the thing is, when they were introduced in the chapter, you kind of see that they have, like, these mechanisms on their feet. And then, like, they're just, like, flying throughout the whole entire time. Oh, I would say Winch Green is actually flying. And you actually just wondering, like, are they really that technologically advanced, or are they just using dial tones throughout the whole entire chapter? Because, you know, so far, we haven't seen any other technology used besides dials that would be, I would say, technologically advanced. Unless the Vinsmokes actually created something that would be anything different from the original storyline whatsoever. But to me, in my opinion, it actually reminds me of a Skypian dial tone. Now, also throughout the whole chapter, we actually see as well that you gotta remember, Luffy is poisoned. Yes, you gotta remember, Luffy was poisoned. He had like a poisoned fish and everything, and you're wondering, like, I thought Luffy actually could have actually, you know, at least survived this poisoned fish, because you gotta remember, he still has like all the hormones that I can actually injected him during the Impel Down. So you're wondering, what's going on? What's going on over here? You know, I thought he had like a high resilience to poison, and you're here wondering, like, what the heck, you know? Come on, Luffy. Stop BSing and just, you know, like, step up the game. But apparently Oda likes to play a little bit of games and little hints to kind of, like, show off the powers of the Vinsmoke family in this situation. And I was kind of a little disappointed in Chopper himself as well, because Chopper's a good medical doctor, but apparently he couldn't actually save Luffy at the same time. So, you know, there's some kind of character progression over it, but at the same time, they're kind of downplaying the Straw Hat members. They're making them look weak in this chapter. Like, I'm assuming it's because of the Vinsmoke family that they're trying to actually make them look more outstanding than the Straw Hats for right now, I'm assuming. Since I'm assuming the Straw Hats are just basically a fighting force. That's the way that's the way that I'm kind of seeing it right now. The Straw Hats are just a pure fighting force. That's the only thing that they're really good at now in this arc that's coming up. Because apparently, well, of course, Chopper, Brook, and Nami, they aren't necessarily the strongest characters, but I mean, there are Straw Hat members, so they're not necessarily weak, but just that they just seem to, like, they're just a little downplayed throughout this whole entire chapter. And I was kind of disappointed, just a little bit right there. But, you know, let's just hope that Oda kind of plays him off bigger in the part of this arc. Now, we actually are also looking at the fact that we actually get to see some of the powers because of what's it called, Agent Zero. She actually can suck out the poison of Luffy. Now remember that. When she sucked up the poison of Luffy, you can't tell if it's a paramecia, well, of course it can't be Logia. It could be a paramecia, or it could be a Zoan fruit. Now, there are theories out there saying that it's a Zoan fruit. In my opinion, I think so too. It could be like a mosquito, or some kind of moth, or like a bug, or a leech, or something that, like, would actually, like, you know, sucks out like any kind of liquids or something, and it would channel it for themselves. That's the kind of animal that I'm thinking. So it could be a Zoan fruit, or a mythical Zoan fruit too at the same time. Because remember, most Zoan fruits, they usually just have an animal characteristic, but they don't really showcase any special powers. So it could be a mythical Zoan fruit. That's what I'm thinking as well. Now, your thoughts could be something else. It could be like some kind of new, or a smile too. It could actually be a smile fruit that we have yet to see, or they actually artificially created as well. Now, you gotta remember, guys, her codename was Poison Pink. So, her artwork's gonna be, I would say, pink in itself, but at the same time, you know, that's kind of a little bit of foreshadowing events right there. You know, so now we gotta take a look at Winch Green. So, we look at this character, and we actually see that he has gauntlets for arms, right? So, you could clearly see that his fighting style is going to be clearly with his fists. Kind of like a winding mechanism, kind of like from something from Yu Yu Hakusho, where the guy, I'm sorry, not Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, part of my little ignorance right there. from Hunter x Hunter part of the Phantom Troop where one of the guys is like just like kind of turns his arm over and over again to gain power. That's what I'm thinking that this guy might do too. Like winch green could actually like have some kind of like turbine, because you know when you think of a winch, you know you're like a crank or something. You're gonna be cranking up, but you know when you look at this guy, you know like okay, so he has giant arms. He has like a very abrasive personality. You know, you're over here looking this guy. Holy snap! You know, this guy is literally gonna be a fighter. You know, his techniques are gonna be like pure physical offense. You know, so that's what I'm thinking right there in itself. It's just gonna be a crank right there. Or his arms have to turn like a gear, kind of like Luffy's gear forms as well. But like I said, you know, I could only speculate so far as to like what I'm looking at this chapter. And by the way, this chapter is still kind of amazing. It has its disappointing little moments and little goofy parts, but it's just only to make certain characters stand out. Now, at the end of this chapter, we also get to see Jinbei. Holy snap. Jinbei is now finally here. Jinbei, yes. I was wondering when he was actually going to come out too as well. Because Jinbei, throughout the whole entire time, he was waiting in Fishman Island, or from the little side stories, he was actually going around making his own crew members. He actually found like some polyglyph, if I remember correctly. Now, we're finally going to be able to see him. There, judging from the last panel, you could clearly see that one of his fishmen, or you don't know if it's Big Mama's fishmen, actually are saying that, you know, we found Straw Hat Luffy's. What are your orders? Now, from what you can speculate from there is that maybe Jinbei will not attack. Because remember, the vinsmoke so far, they didn't really attack the Straw Hat Pirates. They were kind of like, they kind of shrugged on, saying that, you know, we don't want to cause too much scene right here because we want the wedding to still go on. So apparently the wedding is most of their primary focus. That's why I'm kind of assuming that Jinbei will also probably pop out and probably tell him that, you know, Luffy, you know, you should be kind of like being an advisor or certain stuff. You know, because you gotta remember, Jinbei is also older and he's more wiser so far in the series. And you gotta remember too the fact that Jinbei still works for Big Mom, so it's kind of hard to speculate too at the same time what's really gonna happen. Because you gotta remember, if Big Mama says, "Oh, take down that fleet," of course Jinbei's gonna do it because you know he has to think about his fisherman crewmates back at Fishman Island. But you know, Luffy also wants him part of the group, so you know, Jinbei's gonna be kind of right there, stuck in a midway situation. Now that's what's interesting about the Jinbei's character right there. That you were gonna kind of see which side he's gonna go on, and how Oda's gonna show his character progression from there on in this entire arc. Now, it could be also meaning a closer look that Jinbei will now finally maybe join Luffy's crew member, and finally Luffy will complete his 10 crew members right there in itself. Also, the fact that, you know, that I really love the fact that, you know, that the vinsmokes, they're clearly, wouldn't say they're evil in a sense at the same time, because like at the same, I feel like they're just kind of like trying to portray themselves as like, oh, you know, we're royals, you know, don't look down on us. We're actually like, we're gonna condescend you guys just for this moment right here. And I'm here wondering. Sorry for coughing, guys. It's just that got a little bit of cough here. And sorry, I got my Trafalgar Law hat on. But speaking of that, we actually got the vinsmokes again. We actually have them. Like I said, they're not necessarily evil. I would say I don't think they're that evil. Or these two characters, they weren't portrayed as, certainly not as evil as you would think. Because the way I look at it, these guys are just more like they're just doing their own thing, and that's what I like. Maybe the royals have their own, like, they're so stubborn that they have their own personal agenda. So that's as to say what they're gonna do in the future events that are gonna lead on. And like I said, the Straw Hat members right now, they just kind of look like they're just in like a big jam. You know, like I feel like they're just gonna waltz in there, just saying, you know what, guys, we're here to take Sanji back. Sorry about that, guys. Continue on with your marriage and everything. That's the way I feel like that like Luffy's gonna be kind of doing in this whole entire series, this whole entire arc actually as well. Now I'm kind of also at the fact that, you know, they kind of showcase also Brook in itself, that he's familiarized with the vinsmoke family, and you know, Brook should have been like actually talking at least more, or he should be they should be hinting towards him that he has a relationship with the vinsmokes. But you know, you can clearly see from this chapter that it's not necessarily too much, I would say, like speculation from there, because apparently they don't really say that Brook had, like, I would say, history with them. He's just well aware of them. That's what so far it's happening in this chapter. I actually was hoping that Brook would actually showcase it. Oh, I actually met these guys once in a convoy or a voyage, you know, and actually fought these guys. No, but apparently no. Brook is just apparently just another side character in this arc. You know, I guess he's just there just for backup, or because probably he didn't get enough screen time from the previous arc too, if I remember correctly. So these are all just screen time members, like I said. But these are my thoughts on this chapter. You know, it was a wonderful chapter. A lot of information that was gathered from the Vinsmokes family here, and a lot of speculations. But what are your thoughts on the Vinsmokes? Who was your favorite Vinsmoke? For me personally, right now, it's actually Wintry. I actually want to see him actually showcase his powers or what he can do later on. And what do you guys think about Jinbei now joining the fray in this arc? What are you guys' thoughts and speculations on Jinbei now? Is he gonna join Big Mama's crew, or is he gonna turn tail and head towards Straw Hat Luffy now and help him out with in every case that he needs? But remember, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe. And this is Mr. Zen signing out.